Okay, so I wanted to ask all of you to answer honestly in your head, what's the first thought that you have when you hear that on a Monday morning and all you can think is, oh my goodness, I swear my bed is the most comfortable place on the planet right now? I'm guessing everyone in this room is thinking in some interesting amalgamation of bitter satire and absolute sincerity. Ugh, I don't want to get out of bed. I would do pretty much anything to not go to school today, to not go to work today, to not have any responsibilities, but to just kind of be more asleep than awake. And I'm sure my parents are laughing at me right now because the thing is, I'm the biggest offender of that, 100%. But what becomes more problematic is when this attitude is something that isn't just getting up in the morning, but it's something that follows you throughout your day. When that desire to be less active rather than more active, more asleep rather than awake, is something that pursues with you into your day to a point where you just think, okay, this is what I have to do today, but I really wish I could just fast forward through it to the end of the day, to what I need to get. And that's when it becomes concerning. Because the thing is, you can count how long you're going to be alive in years and days and seconds. And for such a huge fraction of that, a lot of people are often thinking, you know, this isn't something that I'm enjoying doing right now. I would kind of rather be in bed than working, than studying, than sitting in school, than doing things. And that begs the question of why so many people are so dedicated to living the longest lives they can, but they spend such that huge fraction not enjoying what they're doing, not enjoying themselves, not being happy. The thing is, there are a lot of things in life that you can't control. But people often trivialize what a huge impact there is to be had in how you internally perceive the world. The thing is, maybe whether I like it or not, I'm going to have a math test tomorrow. But that doesn't have to ruin my whole day. I can, after I kind of wake up, I can get out of bed with a smile on my face and say, I'm going to enjoy today. And even when I'm walking into my second period, I can say, this really could go either way. But it's going to be an adventure either way. I'm going to enjoy it. And that ability to internally decide how you're going to respond to a scenario is something that's so profound. And I think the best example I ever saw of it was when I was, 5 or 6, so I guess my sister was about 8, and we were bowling. And I know you guys know me, I'm a pretty serious athlete. So at 5 or 6, I am positive I had like a 10 or 14 pound bowling ball and just kind of lugged it down the lane. Now, when it came back up, I remember we were kind of playing with that cool machine that like spins them up. And my sister's hand got caught in between a ball and my heavy ball. And it got smushed. And her immediate reaction was just to scream, and she was in a lot of pain and she cried. And my dad walked up, and I don't know how he thought of it so quickly. He didn't remember this story, but what he said was, if you stop crying right now, I'll buy you ice cream on the way home. And it worked. My first thought was, this isn't going to work. This is insensitive. If you're sad, you're going to cry, and she's in pain. She can't control that. But I have never seen tears dry up faster than when she got excited about this ice cream on the way home. And that really is the exact epitome of how you control how you feel. She was still in pain, but she decided she was more focused on being excited about this ice cream than on held down by this pain in her hand. And you might think, how can this positive shift be something that you can move not from bowling, but something that you can transition over to when you're in school or when you're working or when you're not happy with what you're doing and you wish you could fast forward through that, because that's such a waste that you would want to skip something, skip a part of your life. But that's often how so many people feel at school. I'd rather be asleep. I just want this day to be over. And the first thing is something that I think is so simple, even an 18-year-old can talk about. It's probably one of the only things, if not the only thing, that I can at least think I understand. And that's to smile. I think a lot of people have seen the the thing that when you smile, it releases oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins, and dopamine to your brain, and that will make you happy. So smiling isn't the effect, but it can be the cause of happiness. And the first time I read that, I was a bit younger, and I remember that I was shocked. I didn't believe it. So the next time I got upset, I flexed these muscles in my face. And the immediate feeling I had, it wasn't happiness. It was more of a, why would I want to be sad? This is so much better. And immediately I thought, what this does is it makes me realize that I'd rather be happy, and I have complete control over that. Now, that being said, that's kind of easy coming from me. I'm a student, I'm a senior, it's pretty nice, second semester. I'm going to college. I'm not that stressed about anything. But there are other positions where this still happens, and all that really does is make it more inspirational, more profound. For instance, whenever I go to the supermarket, there's this one guy, I don't know how many hours he works, but every time I go there, he's out. And his job isn't extremely glamorous. It's something that a lot of people would think of as inconsequential, not important, that they would forget. But every time I see him, he's out in the hot sun, 80 or 90 degrees, pushing shopping carts. Every time. Just sweating. And that's something forgettable. Except he's so unforgettable, because what he does isn't think, okay, I need to do whatever I can to get this day over with. What he does is he has this stretches from ear to ear. And every single time that I see him, he's either laughing with parents or joking around with kids. And he turns this thing that so many people would just think, I have to get this over with. This is a necessary evil of work that I have to do to get paid. He takes this and he turns it into something that makes him happy to be alive, that's worthwhile. And he makes other people around him so happy. And that brings me into my second point about how you can make yourself happier. Because when you make other people smile, your brain registers it as altruism, as a sort of giving that reinforces your own happiness. And it works in such a strong way that, say you're the most selfish person on the planet, you can still make other people smile just out of this own desire that it'll make you happier, this desire to be happier yourself. So whether you're entirely selfish or entirely selfless, brightening up other people's days has an amazing impact on you and them, and that's what leads to that ripple that I think everybody wants to try to encourage. Because when you make other people smile, they get happier, and they do the same thing. So why wouldn't you start every single day saying, I want to make someone laugh today, or I want to make someone smile today, or I'm going to give someone a completely genuine compliment today? Because it can have such an amazing effect. It's not just about making your life feel like it's more worth living, or about appreciating being awake and active and alive. People work, on average, I think it's 15% more efficiently when they're excited about what they're doing, when they're excited to get out of bed and just give it whatever you got for this math test, which probably isn't a lot. It's such an amazing effect on a society when people are excited to spread that ripple, when people are excited to smile for their sake and for others, that I challenge each and every one of you to try to do it, to start that ripple, to start that huge effect that can spread so far. And maybe it sounds immature or trivial, but it has such a profound effect on a society that I strongly encourage it, and it is amazing. Thank you.